Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Rise up, fuck that shit. So much energy this morning, so much love, so much emotion. The connection that was brought about by participants in the room was amazing. Paris Agreement, it was really a trade instrument. The big elephant in the room that they don't really want to address is fossil fuels. Most importantly is real reductions, real solutions, none of these markets, none of the false solutions, not net zero, which all of that is a smokescreen. We are here in COP26. We about raising hell because it's time for these phony folks to stop coming up with false solutions. It's time for us to do the great things we need to do to save the earth.
This is the People's Water Board Water Wednesday webcast for January 26th, 2022.
Welcome, 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 beloved community. We are back again with another installment of our Water Wednesdays webcast given by the People's Water Board Coalition. And what you have just witnessed is an indigenous ceremony that started off the UN Labor and Climate Justice Summit that was held in Glasgow, Scotland last year. And today, our very, very special guest is a hometown hero, one of my personal mentors, a beloved advocate in our community, our Baba, Mr. Darryl Jordan, who's going to speak to us about his experience at the summit last year. Thank you so much, Baba Darryl, for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time. I know you were in mid-flight and it's a busy schedule, so we'll get right into it. Can you tell us what the summit was about in Scotland?
All right, first I got to tell everybody, hello, I miss all of y'all so much and love you all.
Hey,
oh my God. And I want to say this so we don't get the leadership of the Detroit People's Water Board in trouble. Whoever decided to bring me on today, they probably gonna ask y'all crazy, but I love you anyway. Sylvia, Nicole, Valerie, if they come at you, tell them that I'm gonna try to behave today. But I am so glad to be asked to be on here today and to talk with you all. I am so glad to see you on Zoom. And those who know me and work with me know how I feel about Zoom. I hate Zooms to death.
Well, we know
I am so
that.
lucky and blessed to know you all and work with you. And in regards to the UN COP meeting, the first thing I want to say before I get into it is that this year it was a big charade by all the big corporations and all them government people coming in there. It's like having a party and trying to make it look like something it ain't it's not what it is. But I can tell you, I went with the It Takes Roots delegation, and we met with a whole lot of other grassroots and progressive delegations from around the world. And we found out that most of them dealing with the same stuff we dealing with. And every time I got to speak, I would start off the speech by telling them that I was glad to be there and that I was from Detroit, Michigan, the blackest city in the country, and that they treat us just like they treat our brothers and sisters out there in Micronesia, on the islands, in Africa, in Asia, in the Arab areas and stuff, where they don't really care about us. They so busy making money and being greedy, that we got to really get out here and deal with our people. And we had to deal with the pandemic. So that became a part of understanding what we need to do coming out of this COVID-19 thing. Because in the last 2 years, a lot of our organizations, all of our organizations have lost some real touch with the communities that we were working in. And, and I love you all. And y'all know that y'all can always hit me in the head if I say something crazy. But I want to let y'all know that y'all have some great virtual meetings, but they're not trying to do no virtual meetings and Zooms, It just don't work. They just trying to survive, take care of their kids. They've been living in the house with everybody on internet except them who trying to cook, eat, make a little money. And so I want to say that we got to figure out how we got to get and connect with the people. Over there in Glasgow, we had a demonstration at Chase Bank. Y'all know how we feel about that. Rise up. That's Chase Bank people, they paying for a whole lot of mess, the underground pipelines and stuff. Chase Bank is hiding behind the curtain.
Chase Bank and Enbridge are like this, Darryl. They like this. They go hand in hand. We've protested Chase Bank many times over different pipeline projects. They are homies, Chase Bank and pipeline companies. They are. Yeah.
And we're gonna have to keep on raising hell because part of the problem is the people who are in these corporations and stuff. They be lying to the folks in our communities. I don't know about you all, but I be watching Perry Mason late at night. 11:30 it comes on. And then late at night, that's when Enbridge and DTE commercials be on. And even though we work around the issues that we're concerned about, it's almost hard to believe that they can be as mean and as cruel as they are to the communities that they're impacting. And over there, we did a big thing about net zero too, because these same corporations and these governments and other folks, they keep talking about net zero like this is a good mathematical problem. And it might be a good mathematical equation and stuff, but in real life, it don't really do nothing. We still are creating the same mess that's going to take us out eventually. And so we had great time over there hollering about no net zero and kind of challenging folks. And then U.S. President Biden came over there, but Biden came through and he was talking all that trash. Like here in the U.S., we really care about climate change and stuff. But then he came right back to the U.S. and made money available for them same folks that want to keep taking stuff out the ground.
Right. Yeah.
What are some of the
and so it was really crazy.
From other countries were saying
say what?
Water. What are some of the issues that some of the people you met were saying they were having around water in their countries?
They pour.
We're frozen. You frozen, Darryl.
He froze again.
You're frozen. You're probably on it.
Water because they're going away from the urban areas. Unfrozen. Hello.
There you go. You're good now. Go ahead. You might have to start over answering the question.
All right, Detroit with y'all. I'm here, but what I was saying is that a lot of the countries and a lot of the small communities have the same problems we have because the same corporations and the government folks, they go and do what they want to do in the most impacted communities, the most needy communities, the poorest communities, and they keep doing this stuff. And just like over here, they're dealing with the same things. Not as many people were talking about affordable water when they come from other countries, but for a lot of places in the U.S., water is a bigger issue. And, you know, a lot of the folks that we dealing with are dealing with water. And sometimes, like the indigenous folks on the short video, you saw that we was having a water ceremony right down there on the water. And the sisters from up there in Minnesota led it, but we had indigenous sisters from all around who brought it. Now, I know the brothers, not just the indigenous brothers, but the Black brothers, the Latinx brothers, everybody, you know, we be trying to get out there and do something too. But I got to give much love to the sister water warriors and stuff, because it's y'all that keep raising hell and reminding us that this isn't about whether or not one group is better than the other. This is about whether or not we want to continue to live. And I know it sounds funny because what they say, water is life. And so sometimes people don't believe that, but it's the same thing. And I kept telling people over there in Scotland, and as we were talking to people, that sometimes the issues we're dealing with don't have nothing to do with nature, because the problems that happened in Flint had as much to do with racism as it did racism and just taking advantage of poor people as it did with anything else. And so we got to understand that our issues are connected. Our water is connected to the stuff that they putting in the air. The stuff that's putting in the air is connected to how we are impacted in terms of our health and other stuff. And then in the street, they can treat us like we don't even matter. You know, for those of us that are Black, Indigenous, Latino, they can shoot our children down in the street. And it's just like they treat the Palestinians over there in Palestine. You know, it don't matter to them, so they can get away with it. They keep getting away with it. For those of you that watched that story about Emmett Till's mom, it seems like we still in 1955. It's the same stuff going on. And so I know I'm all over the map, but that's what we got to do. Next year, with the next COP is going to be in Egypt. And so a lot of people are looking forward to that, because a lot of people can't jump on planes and fly all around the earth to get to these darn UN meetings and stuff. But because it's going to be on the ground in Egypt, we are hoping and understanding that there are going to be a lot of young brothers and sisters from Africa who are going to make their way there on the road, driving, on the bus, whatever they got to do. And brothers and sisters from Palestine and the other Arab areas, they're going to be getting there too, because they can get there on the road. And so this is going to be really important, because, you know, folks keep lying to us, and sometimes we don't really understand it. You know, while I was over there in Scotland, we was in this labor meeting, and we heard that that Israel has been commercializing and saying that they are the greenest military out here. Now, they might be feeding their soldiers vegan food and vegetarian food and stuff, but they over there killing people, blowing up land, and messing with the water. And so how can you be called green?
Did.
You know, when we hear green, we think,
take out the water supply.
we think people are all...
I was just saying that was the very first thing they did, was take out the water supply. It was the first act of war. Yeah. Yeah. I was talking about Israel.
I know, but they get away. They're getting away with it. And just like Enbridge and DTE in the Detroit area make people think that they really care about them and they doing good stuff, they doing the same damn thing. And so we got to raise hell, and we got to connect our issues to all the issues that's going on. And the other thing folks asked me about, go ahead.
No, they spent like $43 million on those commercials and that like media campaign. Enbridge spent all that money. DTE does the same thing. Remember what DTE did to stop Prop 2? Right? They put all that money behind it. These corporations will put so much money behind the propaganda that they put out, the propaganda that kills people. It literally kills people. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to just point out $43 million.
No, because that's not just them. Folks are doing that all over, and they're impacting us and our communities and the people we love. And we got to start working with folks. Now, I know I love Nicole, but I love her daughter even more. Kalani is part of our street team, you know. And I know we think Nicole is a bad sister, and she is. But, you know, thank God that Kalani is bringing her along and teaching her what to do. But Kalani was one of our street team members. And our young street team members have been in the street for the last 4 years. And I know people thought that we were crazy. But, you know, it's just like back in the old days when the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee was down south, coming from all over where. And so they was in the community because at first people didn't trust people. They didn't know who they was and where they came from. And then you had the Panthers. The Panthers, folks didn't always agree with the Panthers, didn't understand why they had to have their guns and everything. But every time people tried to come at the Panthers, the people was right there with them. And that was because they were in the community and with the people. And so we got to get to the point that the community trusts us and that we got to get out there. And like our young people always do, talk to the people, say hello. I know we all good people, but if all of us was going door to door, some of us look kind of old. Folks be running from us. But when they see them young people coming, they get nosy, want to know what's going on. And we got to get to translating the work of the stuff that we care about so that the people in the community understand what we're talking about and that we're not running around the community sounding like real smart geniuses, but don't nobody know what the hell we're talking about.
That's
So I just wanted to say that I know I'm talking real quick and all that other stuff and all over the map, but I also got a question about working with the Detroit Water Board, the history of my being there. And I want to say that, you know, we build movement in Detroit. Detroit is a marvelous place. And back in the day was dealing with water issues, but wasn't really dealing with it like dealing with it now. Back in the day, I came to Detroit in 1978, and I was mentored by some folks who are not here with us no more. And one particular sister that I love to death that mentored me and still tell me what the hell to do if I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's Marion Kramer. I can't tell you that I wouldn't be who I was if I wasn't working with Marion Kramer. From 1978, her and a lady named Marge Bursey, who's in the Ancestors right now. And then, oh my God, Nida Donor. I mean, you know, these folks had me out there in the street in 1978, 79, learning, you know, because sometimes we think we know everything because we've been studying and doing stuff. But they put me in the street so I get to know the people and get to know how we supposed to strategize and whatever. And so I appreciate them. And so I every time I come back to Detroit, y'all motivate me and get me ready to roll. And so I left Detroit in 83. I came back in 93. Every time I come back, I end up working with the same older folks, Ed Rowe, all these old folks. And then I came back sending much love to folks who've left us, but who have helped to get us where we are. I got invited to come back to work in Detroit after we lost Charity, a big, big, big loss. And I can tell you right now, ain't no girl I can feel the shoes of Charity, you know. She was just amazing.
No one.
You know, and then you bring some crazy brother like me that want to keep hollering, rise up, fuck this shit, and let's turn this mother out, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we got to do what we got to do. And I'm so glad I came back because I met all of you. And then Mama Lila, who I didn't know when I had been here before.
Yes.
As soon as I started working, you know, y'all know how she used to do. She caught my butt one day helping her carry some stuff to the car. I had just got there, but maybe I had been there 3 weeks to a month. And she had me standing outdoors for about an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half, so she could tell me what I need to be doing and what was going on. And so
for that, for getting us
she's still with us.
We had whole parking lot teachings that none of us even was ready for.
Yes.
And
you by yourself.
You all know right now that you know, we EMEAC calls that and renamed that Mama Lila Conference Center. That's the back parking lot.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that many of you had a meeting in that back parking lot. And so I'm just saying that I am so glad I got to come on today and share a little bit. Life is just so busy, and I am so blessed and so lucky to be connected and engaged with you all. I don't have time to go through each and every one of you, but so many of you I love so much. I came back and I met my favorite nun. My favorite nun is Sister Mary Ellen. I mean, you know, I met some nuns and worked with some folks in my life, but for some reason, that energy that she got just connects with me, you know. And I love that she's very much spiritual and religious. But if you mess up and she got to come at you, don't think you're gonna get away with something, because she's the nun. She's a great fighter, just
That's
like
right.
all of them.
Yes.
And I can't talk about everybody and everything right now, but I just want to say that I hope everybody's family is doing good, and we all doing as best we can, and that we ready to build movement in Detroit and
That's right.
connect all these issues. Because if we want to
Yes.
make some change,
Everybody.
we're gonna have to do that. And
That's
we
right.
need to be building trust, not just building understanding with each other. You know, we got to stop playing games and throwing each other under the bus. We got to build with each other, because that's the only way we're gonna make any real change. And back in the day when we was talking about can we sit at the lunch counter and stuff, the struggles we talking about now aren't like that. We're talking about if you don't do something about climate change and about the water and stuff, we're gonna kill the earth that we live on and all the people that live here. And even though those rich folks, somebody from DTE came over there to Glasgow, and he was the chairperson of some group that they make sound like they are a research group for climate change. And so we got to stop them from doing this crazy mess. And we got to get out in the street, talk to the people, talk to our family, talk to our resident neighbors, and talk to people on the grassroots, and talk to them in a way that they understand what we're talking about, and let them know what they can do to help us change things. Because we got to build communication and build power. Because a lot of the people that we thought was on our side, we found out that when enough money trickles their way, they with everybody but us. And so I'm gonna shut up before I get real crazy. And all I want to say is rise up. And I love you all.
Rise up.
And I'll be
Rise
back in
up.
Detroit, ready to do whatever y'all tell me to do. Because I'm one of those ones, like I say, I love Marion Kramer. Because when I ask too crazy, she steps up to me. When I need to be doing something, she'll tell me. And that's the kind of folks that I'm lucky I have always worked with. I was lucky to come back and work with EMEAC because Dee Collins is there. Dee Collins is still the co-director for discipline and for finance and budgeting. And when I was there, I was the co-director of Raising Hell, Mischief, and Organizing. And so I just keep continuing to be lucky to connect with people like you. Want to say thank you. And I hope something I said today made sense. And if it didn't, those of you that can, go get a good shot of something. And for those of you that don't drink, go get something good to eat. Drink a whole lot of water and orange juice or something.
Eat and drink.
That's
love
just
you
a
all.
perfect way. Don't hang up yet. That's a perfect way to end. I want to thank everyone for joining us today for our Water Wednesday. Join us next week. We've got lots of stuff coming up in the coming weeks. And until next time, my friends, take care of each other and try to stay afloat. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See
Thank
you.
you all. Bye-bye.